a whole lot of trouble coming. The cartoon killers and the rank of the clones. Stachyos kicking a rhythm of social circumcision. I can't close the closet on a shoebox full of bones.
Okay, let's talk about why this series is important to me to make for my friends and viewers. I know a number of vets watch my channel, but I know that the majority of people that watch my channel are not vets. Vets are not better or worse than anybody else, but a lot of vets have seen and dealt with things that you just don't deal with. And I'm going to speak to Americans right now. If you're watching one of my viewers from Europe or South America or whatever, I'm sorry, but I'm going to speak from my perspective. I had a life-altering event that I've never even told my wife about. In 1993, me and one of my friends from the unit I was going to landed in Mogadishu, Somalia. We get off the plane, we grab our gear. A sergeant, I think he was Army, tells us to go over to the parking garage at the airport, which had been taken over as a military base. We go over to the parking garage. There's a guy over there, and he tells us, go find yourself some cots, get set up for tonight. The helicopters will be here in the morning to take you guys farther south to meet up with the ship and your equipment. So we go up to, I think we went to the second story, and there's cots everywhere and people's bags. We find two cots, and I'm talking with my friend, and I said, why is everybody's cots behind the concrete stanchions? They were not spread out. It's hot, folks. It's Africa hot. And a Marine that's there, he goes, it's because they shoot at us at night. So slide your cots together, buddy up behind big concrete stanchions. So we're like, hey, when in Rome. So we move our cots together, throw our bags underneath it, go get something to eat, and then we come back up. We have nothing to do till the next morning. I asked one of the Marines there, I said, where do we smoke at here? He goes, go up to the third deck up there, and you'll see the butt kit there where everybody smokes at. So I go up there, and there's a couple of guys smoking. It's not dark yet, but it's starting to get dark. And I'm leaning on the wall, and from the third deck, there was a wall that went around the airport with a fence and barbed wire. From the third deck, you could see over that wall into Mogadishu. I'm standing up there, and I'm looking out over the city there, and it's just a crap hole. I mean, it's just crap. Here comes the story of what changed my life perspective on things. I see an old lady walking from my left, the south. She's walking up the road, kind of on a sidewalk deal. It's not really a road. And there's apartment buildings out this way, to the right. The sidewalk she's going to leads to a building. She's not going to go past that building because she runs into the wall of the base. So it's obvious she's walking on that sidewalk going to that building. As she gets a couple hundred yards away, on the other side, there's a gap between me and that wall, and then there's a gap out to the sidewalk out there. As she's going this way, from my blind spot on the wall, a boy walks out there. I don't know his age, couldn't see him that close, but he was young. He was 12, 13, 14, somewhere near, certainly no older than 16. He walks up to her, And she freezes. She just stops. And then she says something to him, and he keeps walking up. It was pretty apparent they knew each other. In her hand, for any of you that have ever seen them, she has one of the UN bags of rice. They're a little white bag, and it has like, I don't know what it is, like 2 pounds of rice or whatever it is, and it's got the blue UN sticker on it, or stamp on it. She's carrying one of those. Now this lady is in her 50s, 60s. She may be younger because it's a hard life there, but she's not a young girl. He walks up to her, talks to her for a second. He then pulls out a knife and stabs that woman in the chest. Kills her dead. Reaches down, picks up the bag of rice, puts it under his shirt, and walks into that exact same building that she was headed to. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just see? I turned to the guy next to me. I said, did you see that? And he goes, yeah. And he yells, he was one of the Marines stationed there. He yells down to the lookout that's at the corner and says, did you see that? And he was like, yeah, I got it. I'm calling it in. He was on his mic set. A few minutes later, a UN ambulance goes out there with a couple of Hummers escort. They pick her up, take her back. We can't see where the ambulance came from or where it went, but they pick her up and take her off back south again. The point of this story is not the fact that the boy killed the woman. The point to the story is that in that environment, Somalis call older people, especially women, by a name that is in English translates to grandma. It's a very community-based system. People in that building knew everybody else in that building. The odds are, I don't know these people, the odds are that not only did he call that woman grandma, but that woman helped raise that boy. That woman has probably fed that boy. And just due to a lack of food, that boy killed that woman and took her food. And I've seen this, and I've read about this, and I've heard about this from first-hand accounts all over the world. If you think you live someplace where people are not going to, where good people that are fundamentally good are not going to do bad things, wait until the machinery stops, wait until they get hungry. Today I'm going to be starting a new series. I don't know how many videos will be in this. I'm pretty sure that what will happen is I will talk about a number of subjects and then I'll cut it up and break it into shorter videos. As you saw at the opening of this video, the title of this series is When the Sirens Stop. So let's start with the first thing. Why when the sirens stop? In any kind of emergency, we're not going to put a name to it. We don't care what it is. But any kind of emergency that gets to the point where you are dependent on yourself, where your family is dependent on you and you alone to feed themselves, clothe themselves, protect themselves in an environment where emergency services have stopped. In an environment where good people do bad things. That's when the sirens have stopped. When you hear the sirens stop, it means one of two things. Either an emergency has ended, or there's nobody else to take care of that emergency. What this video series will not be teaching close combat shooting. Very simple reason. If you want to learn close combat shooting, find an instructor in your area. Watching a video to learn close combat shooting is like watching a video to learn how to swim. Until you get in the water, you're not going to do it. This will not be a review of weapons. There will be weapons in the video series. I'm not sure, but I think the vast majority of these videos are going to be shot right here. I could go sit out in the woods somewhere and do this stuff, but that's just for show, folks. That's just effects. What I want this series to be about is reality. And what I really want this series to be about is a number of things that you, my viewers and my friends, will think about that hopefully never come to pass, and hopefully you'll never need to use them. But if you do get into a situation, or we as a country or we as a world get into a situation where these things become important, you're prepared. This video series is not for people 18 or under the age of 18. A couple of reasons. One, I will probably be smoking. You've noticed in my other videos, I try my level best not to get my cigarettes on the videos. They sneak in every once in a while. I don't catch it until the video's edited and out. But this is going to be a conversation with me talking to you. And I smoke. I drink coffee. So you'll see that on these videos. Number two reason is there's going to be weapons involved. And if you're not 18 or older, depending on where you live, if you're not 18 or older, these weapons are not going to be available to you unless your parents get them for you or whatever the local laws allow for there. But this is not based on let's teach a 9-year-old how to start a fire with flint and steel. This is for adults. This is adult topic matters. This is adult subjects. I will probably share some stories that should only really be for adults. They're not graphic, but to me they're kind of disturbing, some of them. The last thing on this series of videos before I let you go here on the introduction is that everything that I say on these videos is my opinion from my experience. If you have different opinions or you have different experiences, that's great. Do your own videos or share those opinions or things down below. This is 100% from me, by me. If I say I like item A, I like item A. It doesn't do any good to go item A sucks in the comments, because item A is what I use and it's what I'm going to use. I hope this is a thought-provoking series. I hope this gets people preparing or at least mentally getting ready to figure out what steps they need to take next. Some things are probably not going to be very popular. Some things are not going to be politically correct. There's no politics involved in this series, but socially correct. That's probably a better term to use for it. Nothing is scripted. Nothing is planned. So it is a straight me talking to the camera like I'm talking to you and just letting you know what I think. I hope you enjoy the series. I hope the series gets you thinking. But that's really all there is to say about it. Let's get it going and see where it goes.